You know, I just want to inspire. You know, I just want to be an inspiration. I want to leave a mark and a legacy here that's like, man, just inspiring for years to come.
How often do you see each other?
We usually, I mean, you know, it's got a once a week kind of vibe or once every 2 weeks kind of vibe, but we talk almost every day.
Not only do we talk every day, we laugh.
Yeah.
You know what?
Right.
And like, how long? It's like, it's almost 30 years, and every single time we talk, there's some type of laugh. And I'm talking about a belly laugh.
Right, it's really true, man. See, here's the deal, which nobody understands, and neither do I, which I always found fascinating as part of one of the interesting things about our relationship, is we really never had an argument. You know what I mean? He knows what he does, he knows what I do, I know what he does, and if we don't agree, we just take on the other person who knows more about that particular thing. Yeah.
Imagine a relationship like that, a friendship. Do you know any others? You know?
And we got lucky. Absolutely. It works like a partnership. It is a partnership. It behaves like a partnership. It's structured as a partnership.
As you said,
You see, what always shocked me about America and what they did capture in the Defiant Ones, clearly, because that was Alan's original idea, was that I don't know why a white guy and a black guy doesn't start more businesses together. Why are we the only people that ever built a big business?
It's crazy. It's crazy that this is the first time that this has happened for this amount of time.
You know, other people have done it, got work together and stuff, but you know, we built the #1 headphone company in the world, then we went and built Apple Music, you know? Because what you bring each other is crazy, the different cultures, how they work together. See, I consider African-American culture, black culture, the most underutilized, under-resourced, and underappreciated asset that America has. So, you know, that's where I come from.
And it still hasn't been taken to its full potential, period.
Dre and I try to put our hustle into the schools and our, you know, that don't quit attitude. But you've got to have the right curriculum to do that. Because you can't just say hustle and don't quit and then go put them in education that hasn't changed in 150 years.
Right, schools don't teach hustle. You know?
You know,
I mean, come on. I never remember not having a hustle. Not having hustle, you know? I would go and cut grass just to be able to buy shoes, you know? I came from just like a place where, you know, you had to get out and do your thing if you wanted to have special shoes. So it started there for me, and then it just snowballed on to wanting just to be able to get out and do anything I want and have anything I want, you know? And that's where I think most of my determination started.
I'm not smarter than anybody else. I just hustle. I could take more pain than anybody else. That's what it is, you know.
That drive and that perseverance and dedication to success is just like, you know,
you just can't
have
quit.
to have that.
You can't quit. And every time a pie comes, you gotta just lick it or wipe it off your face and keep going. You know, it's nothing to do. You don't have to be smarter than the next guy. You gotta work harder than the next guy. Just have reasonable talents, right?
Absolutely.
Not if you want to be Dre, if you want to be somebody. Me, it was defense. I was a record producer, I was out there in the studio, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know anything about finances. I never balanced the budget. I didn't even looked at a P&L, right? So to me, it was pure defense. I had to learn business in order to survive, or else I'd be, you know.
I don't like the business aspect of it. I just want to be an artist, but I know I have to make sure my business is right in order for me to be able to do what I love to do. You know, so I have to take care of that, but I don't like it. I like creating.
By the way, I also don't like it. At all. Because in business, what you find yourself doing is wrestling the world from fools.
had to go out and figure out how to DJ. I taught myself how to engineer and so on. It was just me trying to figure it out and just learning things and picking up different tidbits from people that I admired, you know. And fortunately, I was able to just sit and just like really focus on developing my skill and keep pushing it. I'm still pushing it. I'm still learning to this day because I actually feel like I can be better and I can do better things. But maybe that's just one of the things that drives me still.
What about you, Jimmy? Did you have a good teacher?
Well, I did. I was very fortunate along the way. I came out of Brooklyn with absolutely no skills, you know, and so I got a job. I met this woman, Ellie Greenwich, who really took me from a clothing store and got me a job in 3 recording studios, you know, which was amazing. And the people in the recording studios taught me how to, I had to find mentors there, taught me how to like do everything from sweep to work a console, right? So I had people teach us, this guy, Roy Sakala, at the record plant, taught me working with John Lennon, and through his sessions, he taught me how to record a record. Literally, he used to have me, he used to stand over me and say, do this. And he didn't say, I'm doing this, watch me. He would say, no, 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 do this. And I would do it, and he would do it through me, right? Which was a fascinating way to learn, you know, especially when on the other side of the microphone is John Lennon, right? It's
yeah, that's
right. In 1973, right? I mean, I'm going to see him this week, man. David Geffen. I always check in. He has been an incredible voice to me about business and understanding. He took business as an art form. He turned it, you know, it's an art form to him, you know. And art's, he's a great collector of art. He was a great record company person. He had great taste. He has great taste in everything. But he's also got great instincts in business. But he really helped me in all the areas. I'm going to see him this week. I'm flying to where he is because I just sit with him and we just talk, you know?
Yeah, David Geffen, like, helped me out with just a few sentences. I've only been around him a few times here and there, but, you know, he'll say a couple of things and it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna apply that. I mean, kids are the ultimate form of inspiration. Now you can't fail, you know? You have to get out and do what the fuck you have to do to succeed. At least that's how I look at it, you know? Because you want them to have at least a better springboard than you've had or than I've had, you know what I mean? So, and yeah, it's just, kids are inspiring.
Like when your kids ask you, what do you do, Dad?
For me?
Yeah.
Well, my kids know what I do, you know what I mean? And they have comments about what I do.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, that was good, but I don't know about that, you know what I mean? That's what happens with me. And, you know, fortunately, I've been in a place now where I can record at home, so I don't have to leave. I can just go downstairs and do my thing, and that's what it is. And everybody around me keeps it 100% honest, and that's what I love.
I quit producing when I had my first son, Jamie, because I don't want to travel anymore because I had a kid. And but I used to bring a lot of my work home with me, so they'd be having dinner with Dre or Trent Reznor, or, you know, all these different people. And, you know, my job led into my home. It just did, you know, and it was a great spirit of those kids, and that's what they grew up with that. So they kind of know what I did. You know, they understood it. They didn't see the producing part, but they now know what that was. But more importantly, my kids, like most kids, I hope, because if the parent doesn't grow up, there's going to be a problem. So those kids get you to grow up. And no matter how much you resist, if you want to get it right, if you want your kid to be a proper human being and a citizen, then you've got to grow up, at least a bit.
Yeah, I mean, you have to make certain sacrifices when you're in this business, especially when you're in the studio and you're making records, but it's really comes down to a balancing act, you know, and everybody has to understand that, okay? I'm here and I've always made time. It's just like when I was heavily recording, I would work 5 days and I would always take at least 2 days off, usually Saturday and Sunday. But it's a balancing act. because you don't want to, have a disconnect away from your wife and kids, So I always try to maintain that thing.
Well, I retired now. And I retired, and I'm working with my kids, the older ones, and the little ones, I'm part of the house, and bringing them up. And my stepkids, but I'm working with my kids, and I'm working with other people's kids through education. We're building these schools, and we're going to really try to influence and help these kids, and we're going to try to give them a place to go that they're proud of, when they can say, we go to this school.
Place that they really want to go to.
Yeah, that's right, and make it interesting. And by the way, Ivan Young Academy is fun. You interview any kid at that school, and they will tell you the same thing. Everyone has tried. They've gone every which way to get in, and they've asked people, like kids in that school, and they all love it.
Let me tell you something. These kids are so smart. I'm terrified of them asking me a question. You know what I mean? Jimmy has this thing in his backyard for the students every year, and I'm walking around and the kids are coming up asking questions, and I'm like, man, I hope nobody asks me the square root of something.
I think they did away with square roots a long time ago.
Well,
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm just being silly right now.
They may still count. I have no. By the way,
I don't know either. Idea. So I'm just, that's the first thing that came to mind. But
well, you can't start out thinking you're making $1 billion deal. That's the secret. You got to do something great. You got to say, there's a hole, there's the world. When we saw the headphones, we knew Dre was really upset about his kids wearing the phone earbuds, and the portable earbuds, those little ones that you get for free.
Right.
That was really frustrating him. Sound coming out of the computers were really frustrating him, because he goes in, and the only thing in the studio that he does every day the same is try to make it sound great. So I come from a recording background as well, so I completely got what he was talking about. And we saw a hole, and then we said, what if we made them sexy? Kids may start wearing them, right? And that would make them want better headphones, because people tell us, no one's gonna pay for headphones because they get them for free. And he said, no, that's not the way culture moves. That's not the way things move, So, we were thinking about making one headphone, or multiple headphones. But I'm saying we were thinking about just Beats being a headphone. And what it turned into, was a miracle. That's where
literally.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of luck. And one thing about us, man, if Dre smells something, or if I smell something, now we know how to go and get it, And what we did with Beats is we were two vultures on a telephone pole looking around saying, hey, man, screw this waiting for something to die stuff. Let's go kill something, And
that's exactly it.
And that's what Beats was. I don't know the impact of Instagram. I don't know what it is. It's something. It's not neutral, right? So if Michael Jackson had Instagram, would he have ended up healthier? I don't know. I think Instagram, who am I to say what it is and what it isn't, But I think what's happened is great was never behind fame as much as it is now. Fame is what the currency is, likes, or whatever the stuff is. So fame, and if you happen to be great, musicians and up until like recently, that's why people put music out every day. They think that it's some kind of that's marketing. But not all of it's great, because that's impossible, right? So I think great has pulled back a little bit. Now, Billie Eilish is great. Anderson .Paak is great. But I think Great has pulled back behind fame a little bit.
I think I probably would have hated social media when I was coming up, you know, because there's a certain mystique that gets destroyed, you know. I like the mystique. I like waiting. I don't need anybody to know where I am every minute or what I'm doing or what I'm about to do. There's a certain mystique that came along with music that was entertaining to wait to see what was about to happen, or you know what I mean? It's
What can I tell you, man? Old men, two things they shouldn't do. One of them is wear V-neck T-shirts, and the other one is go on Instagram. All right? You know what I mean?
And if you do it together.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I stopped.
What's that?
I said I stopped. The V-neck, yeah, I got a couple of V-necks though.
I'm telling you, man, you're hitting that age. You're right about that, man. Unless you want to go to some doctor and get that done.
No.
It's ugly as fuck. By the way, proven by our president.
Wow.
They shouldn't go on social network. Old men should not go on social networks. I'm telling you, and our president's a great example. I understand what he does. You know what I mean? I get it completely. I think what you see is partially who he is. In my take, I don't know, but he went to the evangelical Christians. And I'm simplifying a very complicated person and situation. He said, I'm giving you abortion. So they overlook any side of Christianity that they're monitoring and trying to see if they got a president that works. Because he does a lot of stuff that, you know, who might have called somebody a Christian? I don't, you know, I got a cross on, you know what I'm saying? That means something. But I think, and he told the extreme right, I'm gonna stop brown people from coming in the country. So now you lock up 30% of something like that of the Republican Party, and he's got a lock on it. Now, does he feel those things? I don't know. I have no idea. Does he care about abortion? I have no idea. Right? So, I'm not saying he doesn't. I don't know the man. But that's what he did. He locked that in, whether he believes in it or not, because he knew. He's a marketing guy, and he gets it. He's a smart guy. That's where I do agree with him. He's smart.
Oh, I'm not interested in those type of conversations, to be honest with you. You know, I just want to create. I just want to make art.
But right now, I don't see anybody out there yet that could be the president, you know, including him. But no, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you know, certain things he's done are good, but I don't like his style, the way he does them, you know, personally for my kids to see. I don't like that kind of, you know. And by the way, my kids were brought up around Eminem and Tupac. Okay? So, you know, but the president's a different thing. He's a character. He really is, you know. And I'm not some evangelist. I'm not some crazy psyched up person about this whole thing, you know. I live my life with my family and do my thing and try to help education and help the underrepresented kids. But I try to do it from the public side. I'm not waiting for the public. I'm not waiting for the government to do anything. You know what I mean? Wait for that, you can wait the fucking rest of your life. There are some policies that he has that I think are great. There are some policies he has that I think are not great. But how he gets what he wants sometimes jeopardizes the racial flow and tensions in this country. And if he stayed away from that, rather than stoking that, to get the right really on his side, you know the people I'm talking about, then, you know, I could deal with it. I mean, I hate the Constitution stuff and all that stuff, but what he does with race, and the scary part is, I'm not sure if he feels that way, which is like an offhanded compliment to him, but it's even worse if he doesn't, you know? So that's kind of how I feel.
It's only a responsibility for that particular artist. every artist shouldn't try to hold like that thing or try to be a role model or go out. Just create art, man. Just create art. From my perspective, I'm just trying to make people feel good and inspire, you know? And that's my way of delivering my art. I'm not trying to tell you who you should represent politically or, you know, which religion is you should be involved in, or it's, you know, I think that's just, for me personally, is nonsense. I just want to create art and make people happy and inspired.
I really care about artists reflecting social justice, injustice, and what's going on in the world. Those are the artists that I always loved, you know? And I'm not sure, but any artist, Dre's right, whatever an artist feels, but if he feels it or she feels it because she doesn't want to piss off the sponsor from Instagram, or because the country's so divided, they don't want to piss off Bernie Sanders people, the liberals, or they don't want to piss off the right with Trump, then that's no reason not to do it. When Neil Young did Ohio, when they killed those kids at Kent State, you think he was thinking about his sponsor on Instagram? No. He didn't care what happened the next day. Bob Dylan didn't care what happened. Marvin Gaye didn't care. You know, James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud, didn't care. So, you know, that's what I like.
That was them flexing their art, you know?
But they weren't afraid.
Exactly, yeah.
They weren't afraid. And what I'm implying is, are some of these people afraid? Or did it completely go out of society? You know? I don't know.
I think I've been talking about it throughout this interview. I just wanna inspire and be inspired. You know, I guess the thing that I'd like to leave is, you know, kids to look up to me that grew up in similar places, like the place that I grew up, and say I can do that as well. Because, you know, my ice is no colder than yours, you know? If I can do it, you can do it. That's my thing, you know? I don't think I'm better than anybody. You know, I feel like there are producers and musicians out there that are much better than me, that if they have the same drive, they can do even bigger and better things that I've done in my career. There's some kid somewhere right now that could be the next Dr. Dre or Jimmy Iovine that can come out and just do some amazing things that we would have never even thought about. So, you know, I guess that's what I would say my legacy would be, or that's what I would like my legacy to be.
If I had to pick one, I would say if white and black people, or people of color and white people, work together truly as equals and as partners, the world will be a better place. It'll be more beautiful, it'll be more soulful, it'll be just better, because what the two cultures offer each other. And that's a big dream, but that's what I think Dre and I did, and I think that's what we proved to a lot of young people. I hear it all the time. You know, that's important to me.
Listen, we are living proof that this thing right here can work.
That's right.
Trust me.
That's right. We both came from racially challenged neighborhoods.
We are happy.
Racially charged, rather.
we are happy, and we've done legendary shit.
We both came from racially charged neighborhoods. I came from all Italian, it was like a West Side Story, you know? And Dre came from Compton, where the first white people he met were cops. You know?
True.
Right?
Yeah.
We really believe in that. And I know a lot of great people right now that are really focused on making this a better place in racial communications and the economic injustice of the African American. You know, that's got to be dealt with.
The thing that excites me is we know that one of the kids that comes out of our academy has the potential to go on and do something to change the world. That's the thing that's the most interesting to me, you know.
We're starting a high school, and we're starting it right outside of USC, and it's for that neighborhood, and it's going to be free. And we're doing it with Lorene Jobs and XQ and USC. And whoever goes to that school in high school is going to have an advantage when they come out. We want to give unrepresented kids an edge because no one markets high school. And the reason why they don't market high school is they don't have anything to market. So kids really think, you know, a lot of kids today think, it's not really necessary. Why am I doing this? You know, do I really need to know about this and that? And
not only that, most of them hate it. For me, the words that come to mind are pain in the ass. You know, it's just, I never liked school, but I understand the possibilities that it can create, you know? So fortunately for me, I was able to build a life and career without it. There was nothing there that I really wanted to learn. I mean, of course I wanted to learn math and reading and all that, but I'm an artist. And there, you know, in Compton, in my particular high school, there was nothing there available, you know? This thing that we're building has everything that I needed.
Jim, what about you?
I hated every second of high school. There wasn't 1 minute that I liked, not 1 minute. And I went to an all-boys Catholic high school, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. And then I had to go to college because I knew if I hated high school, I was really going to hate Vietnam. So I said, I got to go to college, you know, and then I got a good number in the draft. And so I was able to leave school and go work in a recording studio. But I hated every minute of school. It was just, you know.
It sucked. I mean, of course I finished. I went to college for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Now we're building high schools.
And I feel like that was too long. But, you know, but I do feel like it's necessary. And like I said, for most, it's necessary. And these kids can go on and do some really, really amazing things. And I'm glad to be a part of that.
I think kids want hope. All they see all day is Instagram and this, and you know, Mark Zuckerberg left school and became a trillionaire and all this other stuff. So they want a hope. They want a shot at the ring. That's what kids want. That's what millennials want, right? So the way to approach that first is to give them an education where they have a shot at the ring. You know, who gives a fuck who wins a trophy? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
What the Grammys are the fucking, it's a TV show with trophies. That's what it is, that's what it was, that's what it'll, unless somebody does something, that's what it'll always be.
And
so
there wasn't that many trophies last night, to be honest. It
You
wasn't
know,
even an award show.
They put 8 awards, you know, it's okay, who cares? Everybody gets excited about it, the kids get excited about winning a Grammy, and that's all cool, you know? But I don't think that's where the issue is. I think it's important. I think Puff nailed it. You know, I think Puff nailed it big time. You know, and I do think there are things that influence it that shouldn't influence, you know? But I was never a big trophy guy. You know, I'm not like, tomorrow excites me. Not a victory lap of yesterday.
You should end it on that.
Yeah, what a great way to end it.
That was good.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much.